time for Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, live on the Woodward Sports Network. Every day, 2 to 4 p.m. Starring Ryan Ermanni, Michigan great and former NFL baller Braylon Edwards, and of course, Tom Mazawey. Let's talk some sports.
Yes, sir! Let's talk some sports. It is Monday, February 13th, 2023. Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. Woodward Sports Network, woodwardsports.com, fox2detroit.com, the Fox 2 News app. Braylon Edwards, good afternoon to you, my friend.
What's up, buddy?
You, baby. Long time no see.
I know, Brian. I got a chance to see you early. Got a chance to hang out at Fox 2. Did a quick segment. We're so used to doing 2 hours that 4 minutes and 12 seconds. It just blew by.
It's amazing, 4.5 minutes on a television segment is a lifetime.
That's a long time.
4.5 minutes here with what we do is
it's a breeze.
You're almost there now. 4 minutes, you talk for 4 minutes.
Maz will jump in for 3. Tom
Mazawey, I'm sure you were watching the appearance today. Braylon Edwards returns to Fox 2.
I missed it. I completely forgot. But I will definitely watch it back for sure. I'm happy you guys had a nice morning together. Did you take care of him? Did you feed him?
He got a free bottle of water.
That's it?
Yes.
Hey, man.
It was no. They didn't roll out the VIP
breakfast?
Green room. It was very quiet.
We had Dr. Sabrina.
Temperature.
Dr. Sabrina was in the house.
Room
How about
temperature.
Skinny Butcher? Was Skinny Butcher
was in the house today.
They were working a segment when I was walking out. I did get a chance to see them for a second.
This is Super Monday, I call it. It's probably the last real day we can really hit football until, I guess the Combine's in a couple of weeks, and then we have to wait till April.
You got a month before the league year starts, right?
Yeah, about that.
March 15th?
I guess my full depression starts tomorrow.
It's coming, man.
It is coming. I feel it already.
And it sucks at this time of year. Let's be honest. Can I be honest for a second why it sucks? It sucks because our Detroit teams suck. It sucks because as analysts, we come on here and we get to talking. Season's over. Detroit Lions are done. Super Bowl's over. Maz is going to go into depression. And now we got to come up here and talk about the Pistons for the next 4 months.
No, we don't.
Now we got to come here and talk about the Wings and act like they're moving in the right directions, which they are. Now we got to talk about our optimism about Sky Harris and the Tigers, which we know they're going to stink in the beginning. And then we got to act like the Detroit Lions made the playoffs this year, which they didn't. They got close. They almost did. So this becomes the fake optimistic season. Ryan, I'm not looking forward to it.
We got March Madness.
No, what? No, but this
not with Michigan State and Michigan.
Today is kind of a celebration of an NFL season gone by. It was a great game. We'll absolutely get into it, but it is also a morning of the football season, right? I mean, we got the USFL coming, we got the XFL coming. But nonetheless, football is what it is. Did you enjoy your Super Bowl Sunday, Bray? What'd you do?
I actually did. So usually we host at my house. My dad wanted to host this year, so he's been talking about the menu for the past 2 months. And I went over there in Northfield, and he didn't let down. I mean, there were 5 or 6 different types of chicken, some green beans, potato salad. What else? Berkeley made his famous mac and cheese. Shout out to my brother Berkeley. His mac and cheese was fire. There were some introductions to some girlfriends. I think Bailey brought a girlfriend.
Oh, no kidding.
I've never seen Bailey with a girlfriend. So
doesn't he know that women weaken legs?
Hey, man. Hey, apparently they're not weakening his because he looked in shape and he looked good. So, but it was fun. It was good. It was cool until get my seat. Dad had he had different tier setups. He had a setup with a TV, couch, love chair right by the front door. Then he had the big room. He had like a VIP over there in the big room. I sat in the VIP with the table, sat there. I was nice and
taken care of. Did you need a ticket to go to each room?
Yeah. You had to have the right ticket. You had to have the right situation, jump off. You know what I'm saying? Then he also had the old guys hanging outside in the garage, and where they trained people, had the gym, the weights, had the TV out there. So it was a bunch of different parties. Berkeley had the kids and I guess you could say the 25 and unders. They were downstairs in the basement. It was a lot going on at the Edwards household.
Damn, Maz, how'd you do?
I didn't hit a single square yesterday. I had the box number 62 in this $100 thing. Paid $2,000 a quarter and $4,000 for the final. Literally, the 3 squares around my number all won.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
I didn't look
I
at
picked the
Woodward
wrong
Sports.
damn box.
I don't know if I won or not.
You know the thing about these squares though too. It's
a crap shot.
We did a square for the kids yesterday, and I like just the one number. If you get screwed, you get screwed. When you get 4 quarters, and you got a different number, it's just too hard to follow.
Yeah.
Give me one number. If it's 5-5, damned be me.
Yeah.
But just give me the one number. These squares, it's too confusing. People can't read. They got 4 rows up here, 4 rows over here.
It is hard.
You got a 1 and a 7. Oh, what do you? Screw it with all those numbers.
Now,
just give me one.
Now, was Stick supposed to be telling us who all won?
I looked. None of us won.
Okay, yeah, I didn't look at all. I assumed that
I
someone.
think Justin won a square.
Shocking.
Chad won a square.
Shocking.
And the other 2, I forget. Wasn't us though.
Those other 2 were actually my uncle.
It was your uncle.
And that's why I didn't recognize the name.
So you cheated.
JB's uncle.
I didn't get any profit from this, but yet
No, I'm
he
just
did
messing
get
with
2 of those squares, so I was upset myself too.
Well, that means that Ermanni and Edwards with Maz won something. So you know what? I feel a little bit better.
The team won.
My wife hit one. That was it, a small one.
You know who didn't win? And it's no way that these outfits were winning outfits. I was just appalled at 2 outfits. I didn't get a chance to see everybody's outfit, but there were 2 in particular. If you will, Fletcher, if you have the pictures, throw them up there for me. This is Fletcher Cox. This is one of the most dominant defensive linemen in the league. He has been so for a very long time. Now he is a 2-time Super Bowl champion defensive lineman and will be in the Hall of Fame. Is that a blouse, Maz?
I think he's wearing a blouse, Bradley.
He's wearing a blouse.
His jacket's a little tight.
This is a man that is 6'6", 300 pounds, by the way. He has a fitted jacket, but there's nothing wrong with it.
Is he wearing a pearl necklace, Braylon?
There's nothing wrong with a fitted jacket. There's nothing wrong with that. But there's something wrong with it when you have a mesh blouse underneath.
It looks like a woman's blouse.
It is. It is. Now, he's wearing diamonds, but the fact that he's wearing a blouse on top
pearls.
of skin.
He's got pearls.
It makes it look like pearls, and now I got to side with
pearl
you.
necklace?
This is unacceptable.
Is that Mrs. Cleaver?
This is unacceptable. When did men start wearing blouses to the Super Bowl?
Oh, I guess it just goes to show you why they lost.
Here's another outfit. Juju Smith-Schuster. Shocking.
Oh, look at this guy.
Shocking that it would be Juju. Like
Is he Scottish?
No, not in the least bit. This is from the Russell Wilson collection. The Russell Westbrook. Like, this definitely is Russell Westbrook 2018.
Is that a beret? Why is he wearing a beret?
This is very Kurt Cobain-ish, 92-ish, give or take. He's wearing outfits and stuff like that. I just don't get.
That's a nice skirt.
That's fashion these days? Is that fashion?
In Hollywood. Like, not in Detroit. My uncles ain't going for this.
What happens like that? You walk in the...
Ass whooping. Ass whooping on that.
Looks like he's got Doc Martens on his feet.
I don't mind. At the end of the day, teachers on. It's not a big of a deal.
Right.
We live in a world society. We're very, very, very understanding, accepting. Just don't wait till Super Bowl Sunday to become that guy. Like, be that guy all the time. Like, don't wait till Super Bowl Sunday to wear outfits for guys like, hey man, is Fletcher wearing a blouse? Like, I just don't need to see that on Super Bowl Sunday.
Now, as a teammate, like a lot of these guys that wear these fancy things to the game, it's so, the mother they're trying to make a fashion statement or something, but shouldn't the Super Bowl just be about the game? Throw a suit on and go to the game.
I couldn't agree more.
Throw a suit on and go to the game. It's a business. It's a business trip.
Yeah, I don't want to be that guy. Like, it's always suits. Like, when I was league, it's wear a suit. It's wear a suit. Now, slowly but surely, there were versions where you got from just a suit to, okay, now you can wear a nice cream mock collar. Okay, now you can wear a nice designer shirt. Then as long as you're wearing designer. Like, it's just gotten further and further away from wear a suit, be professional, come to the game. I don't want to be the old guy. I'm not even 40 yet. Yeah. But I also don't want to be the guy that see blouses and skirts and grunge boots.
Give me 7 days and he...
Hey, man, pipe down. Pipe down over there, okay? Don't tell everybody my business. But anyway, like, when you got all that going on in the locker room, like, if I'm on his team and I'm getting ready to play in the biggest game of my life and I got to look at this outfit, I'm like, really, fam? Like, this is what we're doing today? Right? If you're going to play like that, you got to go out there and have 160 yards receiving 2 touchdowns.
And I didn't see Fletcher Cox most of the game, by the way.
Who? He wasn't even out there. None of that defensive line was out there.
Unbelievable.
What happened to giving up 7 points each the first 2 games in the playoffs, 7-7.
Giants and a 4th-string quarterback in the 49ers.
79 sacks was like the most sacks ever in the history of the NFL, only behind 2 Bears teams.
They didn't come near him.
0 sacks for Philadelphia.
What do you call it, Zotsky?
In this game, Zotsky. We'll get into the game in just a little bit. I want to ask you this question, though.
Great grass, by the way.
I want to ask you guys this question about Super Bowl Sunday. And look, this is an old and tired topic. I think it was given some reinvigoration here with the column by Yahoo Sports' Dan Wetzel.
He brings it up every year.
One of the most respected columnists, sports columnists, I think, nationally going today.
Michigan guy.
For him to bring this up, I think it does give a little bit of credence to the idea of Super Bowl Saturday. Look, I don't know how many people went to work today, but the roads were virtually empty. 1 in 5 employees have either called out sick or have taken the day off today, period. People just don't work today.
My kid's school was off today.
My kid's school was off today.
The kids
not my kids, but De La Salle was off today.
The kids got to pick an extra day, and they're like, we'll take this day.
Nobody's going to work. Nobody's going to school on this day. Why not just make it on a Saturday? And you can't tell me that it's for television audiences. You can't. Those 2 games earlier this year that were on the playoff games got 50 million viewers. 50 million when you put the playoff games on a Saturday. You can absolutely do this. And I don't know if it's for the host city. You don't want to take a day away from them. But I stayed up till 1 o'clock in the morning cleaning my house after having a Super Bowl party yesterday. And I woke up for work. I went to work in this today. But I do think it's worth a shot. Super Bowl ratings have been going down for years, to be honest with you. I'm curious to see what this Super Bowl rate's at with 2 number 1 seeds going at it, 2 teams that were 16-3 going at it, 2 teams that were have the 2 best quarterbacks in the league going at it. But Braylon, my goodness, why not give it a shot?
Yeah, at the end of the day, why not give it a shot? Why not infuse some new energy or some new lifeline into what the Super Bowl process is? Look, if you're trying to say it's about tradition and this is it's always been on Super Bowl Sunday since 1966. It's always been on Sunday. You've changed so many details about the NFL since 1966. The aesthetic of the NFL completely changes every 5 years. So if you want to just try one, I mean, hell, we got games on YouTube Live this year.
Right.
We got games on Hulu. We got games on Amazon. Matter of fact, you have games on Black Friday this year. So if you want to try once, hey, Saturday, see how it goes for S's and giggles, why not? I'm all in for a try. I mean, you're trying everything else. Don't hold on to tradition in some things and not all things. If you want to just give it one shot, give it one shot and say, hey, you know what? People didn't like it. People didn't gravitate towards it. They missed the Sunday preparation. They missed the week. They missed all that. I'm fine with it. Why not try it once?
No way. Sorry. Football belongs on a Sunday. It's Super Sunday for a reason.
Well, then why do you play it on a Monday and a Thursday and a Saturday?
And
the Super Bowl is a Sunday. It's a family day. It's Sunday. That's it. You go to church in the morning or you go to church on Saturday. You come home, you get ready for it, and you watch it. When I was young, it was on at 1 o'clock. Then it moved to 2. Then it moved to 3. Then it moved to 4. Matter of fact, Super Bowl 40 here in Detroit started at 4. This one started at 6:35.
Yeah.
But it's eventually going to play, as I've said it for years, on President's Weekend. It'll be on next week from now on. Within a few years, you will have Monday off. Everyone can shut up. It's going to be on Super Weekend, on President's Weekend, and 95% of the people will have off on Monday because they're going to add an 18th week, and the Super Bowl we played on President's Weekend. So hold your horses.
They already have an 18th week because they have 17 games.
But they play 18 games, it'll be 19 weeks now.
Yeah, they want to keep doing that. They'll have more and more injuries, so I doubt that. But there is something to you saying that. I understand that. But, Maz, why not try it on Saturday? I mean, they've changed everything else. Like, why not just try it one time? I mean, I get it. The tradition, 1966. I'm not taking anything away from that, but why not try it once?
I want to talk more about this. Listen, I gotta get a break in. I gotta get a break in, but I do want to talk more about this idea, and of course, get into the game. There
was a game, right?
Where does Patrick Mahomes rank? Is he already the greatest quarterback ever to play this game? I want to ask that question legitimately. If he never takes another snap, where would he be? But first, a message from Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC. That's right, Les Stanford has expanded into Ferndale, a trusted name for over 50 years. Les Stanford Buick GMC will offer the same great service that customers have come to know. Go check them out on Woodward, just south of 9 Mile. And, of course, if you're looking for a Chevy or a Cadillac, Les Stanford in Dearborn, standing strong. In fact, they've got great deals on Chevy Silverados. If you want a Chevy Silverado, it is the truck center capital of the city right now. Go get one. And you can find the brand you want at lesstanford.com, lesstanford.com.
Find new roads.
Find them.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Get a shot up. This is for the win. All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
At Alta, uptime matters.
It matters.
Alta Equipment has everything you need to get the job done. If you have a big project coming up, Alta Rental has got you covered. Call them today at 844-GO-TO-ALTA. That's 844-GO, the number 2, Alta.
Hey, before we get to the game, I just wanted to finish up this conversation a little bit about.
Why don't you open the phone line?
Well, that would have been a great idea, Matt. Thank you.
Should
we do that right now?
Yeah, let's do it.
Sure.
Get everyone's opinion.
313-552-6322. 313-552-6322 if you want to get in on this Super Bowl Saturday, this idea of Super Bowl Saturday. Feel free to call in. I just don't understand what it would hurt or why everybody's so staunch against it. Oh, football should be played on Sunday. This is not 1966. Where football was played on Sunday. You have since added games on Monday. You've added games on Thursday. You play playoff games on Saturday. Why couldn't you?
Monday Night Football games in the playoffs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You have changed the course of your league so many different times. I mean, even just start times for the Super Bowl. Oh, 1 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 6:30. We'll do 5 o'clock. You've made these changes. Yeah. Why not go one step further? Because the ratings, and again, I'd have to see where these ratings go. The ratings have dipped down slowly but surely over the years. I don't know why you wouldn't do it.
They have?
Yes, they have. You used to get 120 million, 115 million. Now you're at like 92 to 100.
Yeah.
The last really good Super Bowl that I watched in terms of ratings really being at that number, if I remember correctly, was Super Bowl 50. 50 was the last Super Bowl where and that would have been the Denver Broncos playing against Carolina Panthers. Had MVP Cam going against that Broncos team. That was the last time you saw ratings that met the usual ratings match. They've been going down every year since then. Maz, I think the question is on you. Why not try on Saturday? Just if the ratings are already going down, you've changed a bunch of other things. What is the hold up or the hang up, let's say, for a fan like yourself?
It's not going to kill me.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to watch it. I don't care if it's on a Wednesday. I'm just saying, the NFL is a Sunday sport. Yeah, they've added days around it, but the NFL is you play on Sunday. That's what you do. That's the National Football League. If I throw a game out at you and say, when does the NHL play? You say every day. When's baseball play? Every day. Where's NBA play? Every day. Where's the football play? Well, they play on Sundays, but then they have a game on Monday and Thursday as well.
What about college football?
College football is Saturday.
Okay, when do they play their national championship game?
They play it on a Monday.
Why do they do that?
Because I don't know why. That's what they decided.
You walked into today.
You know what? I believe, and I bet you this. I bet you Saturday is the least watched day of the week on television.
Well, there's no doubt about
it. Back in the day, Happy Days was on Tuesday. Gunsmoke was on Monday. I'm just throwing shows out at you.
Yeah.
The Saturday lineup sucked.
What was Bonanza?
Always.
What channel was Bonanza?
Bonanza was NBC.
Okay, Bonanza.
But if I'm not correct, maybe Love Boat and Fantasy Island were on Saturday back in the day. But besides that, Saturday is your death period. You go out to dinner. You go out with your family on Saturday. You're not sitting home watching television on Saturday night.
I think
That's
you are
why
if the
football,
I think you are if the Super Bowl is on.
I'll watch it, Ryan.
I know you will, but I think other people will too. I just don't know why you wouldn't give it a shot.
Playoff games are on Saturday. We watch them.
Right, 50 million people watched a 4:30 game on a Saturday.
Hey, TCU played Michigan, and I would think the game started at 2:00 in Phoenix. People were watching then, and that's a Saturday. So, it's another drum we're beating. But
yeah, either way, guys, a Super Bowl. Overriding theme of this game was how great it was. I thought this was a classic. I'd put it up there with the top 10 Super Bowls of all time. I don't know much higher than that because of the way it ended, but I thought this was an incredible Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes, what this guy has done in 5 years as a full-time starter has been nothing short of spectacular. 2 Super Bowls, championships, 3 Super Bowl appearances, 5 AFC championship games. We've never seen anything like this, ever. Never have we seen anything like this.
And you won't again.
And there doesn't appear to be any slowing him down. This guy is everything that's right about sports and football, and I'm just so glad that he won it.
Yeah, Pat, what I saw when I watched the game yesterday is I saw 2 quarterbacks that were out to try to prove something. I saw from Jalen Hurts, who we'll get into later. He was out to try to prove a ton, and we'll get into him. But sticking with Patrick Mahomes, coming into the season, people say, hey, will Patrick Mahomes be able to get back to the big dance without Tyreek Hill? Tyreek was very instrumental in the Chiefs winning their first Super Bowl, getting back to their second Super Bowl. Would he be able to get back there without Tyreek? Would he be able to get there without a big wide receiver playing hodgepodge with Valdez-Scantling, playing hodgepodge with J.J. Smith-Schuster, and then later on in the year bringing in Kadarius Toney? Like, would they be able to get back? Is Andy Reid, does he still have the magic? Like, you saw it at every turn. You saw them lose to the Colts early in the year. Oh, they lost to the Colts. They're not really the big deal. You're seeing people try to supplant Patrick Mahomes for Josh Allen in the offseason or even last year, or try to say Justin Herbert is the new sauce in the AFC, or Justin Herbert's the guy that, even Trevor Lawrence is now a guy that has Doug Peterson. So where does that leave Patrick Mahomes? Patrick Mahomes did nothing but be an MVP guy. He went out there with one leg, and you saw it again on the injury right before the half. Once again, he injures that high ankle sprain, and he goes out there and he makes magic happen. The thing about when you're that good, the stat line doesn't have to look a certain way. Like greatness, Ryan, you look at that stat line, you're like, he had a $182. I mean, he had 3 touchdowns, but they were short. He made the plays that mattered. The scramble, the 26-yard run.
It's incredible.
44. Like, it's one of the best plays I've ever seen in the Super Bowl.
1 incomplete pass in the second half.
And that was a throwaway.
Unbelievable.
And that was a throwaway.
Unbelievable.
Like, you're talking about a guy, it was 182 yards, but it was 21 of 26. You're talking about 44 yards rushing, 26 in the clutch when the game is on the line with a busted ankle. Like,
Fletch needed 20 more yards to win his parlay.
Get out of
That's
here.
it. 20 stinking yards.
I feel terrible, and you should
He hit it good, man.
And you should have got him. But talking about Patrick Mahomes, we've never seen it done. 6 years in the NFL, 5 as a starter. He's been in 3 Super Bowl. He's won 2 of them, and you can make the argument I don't play the if game, but if he would have had his linemen against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, may have won that one as well. No one has ever done that. Why must we wait when we're categorizing, or when we're putting them into the categories, the best of all times, or is this guy on the trajectory? Duh, he's on the trajectory. But why can't he be the best of all time?
I'll answer that question.
Okay.
I'll answer that question. Because I guess it's just not long enough. And I think the player that I would, if Patrick Mahomes never played another down in football, where would he be ranked amongst the greatest of all time? I think he's the most talented, best quarterback I've ever seen with my 2 eyes.
Right.
But I think he's got to do it longer. And I would say that because I kind of resemble that to Bo Jackson. Bo Bo Jackson was probably one of the greatest football players you have ever seen in your life.
Bo Jackson had one NFL season.
I know, but because he got hurt.
He was a shooting star.
One NFL season.
He just didn't do it long enough.
Bo had one NFL season. He didn't have 5 in which every
what
category.
he did, though?
But this ain't a what-if game.
Yeah.
This is a what-is game.
Yeah.
Right now, Patrick Mahomes, in 5 years, he's the most passing yards in 5 years, the most touchdowns in 5 years, the most completions in 5 years, the most Super Bowl MVPs in 5 years. Like, all of this in 5 years, the most playoff wins in 5 years. All of these things have happened for him. He's number 1 in every category. He's the most efficient quarterback.
Look, you're not getting an argument from
me.
No.
I'm gonna flip it. He's the best against the blitz. He does everything at the top of the pyramid. Okay, boom. Let's say he doesn't win another championship. I saw Jared Goff throw for 4,800 yards this year. We know he's going to throw for 4,800, 4,600 yards for the next 10 years. So you might as well just start adding those numbers up now. Because what I've seen out of him, you said, can he, well, not you, proverbial you. Can he win without Tyreek Hill? He just did it. Like, every question he's asked to answer, he's answering. And then some. He had his best year this year without the player that they said it was the reason why he won the Super Bowl. I just see that he keeps climbing the ceiling higher and higher. He won the MVP again this year. He won the Super Bowl MVP again this year.
Ended the Kurt Warner curse.
It ended the Kurt Warner curse. That Maz boy, that was a great category, by the way. I'm glad he did it. But he's done all that. So you might as well just add up his yards now. Add up an average of 4,800 yards a year. Throw in one more Super Bowl. He's already, by your eyes, been the best that you've ever seen, talent-wise, efficient-wise. Like, the crazy stuff that he does, there's some people that take crazy chances, like Brett Favre is one of them. There's a couple other ones. But when they take crazy chances, they're hitting, 3 out of 10? His crazy chances, he's hitting 8 out of 10. Like, everything he's done it to the best. And, yes, I get it. Joe Montana, I can't put him above Joe yet. You can't put him above Mr. Seven Rings yet. But we know the trajectory he's on. He's already the greatest we've ever seen.
I'll give you a guy. A shooting star. Gale Sayers could have been one of the greatest running backs of all time. The Kansas Comet.
Yeah.
Blew his knee out, and back in those days, they could not fix him up like they do now. Gale Sayers is a Hall of Famer in such a short lifespan as well. Patrick Mahomes is already a Hall of Fame guy. He's already a Hall of Fame guy. Is he the greatest quarterback to ever play? He's climbing. He's probably top 5 now and climbing as we speak, as Braylon has said. I think when it's all said and done, he will have everything. He will be number 1. But I'll tell you, I love Jalen Hurts. He showed me a ton yesterday. He might not have the strong arm, but he's got everything else to go with it. I love that guy. We also love Joe Burrow. There's a lot of really good quarterbacks coming up. We talked about Jacksonville and Trevor Lawrence. I think we saw the 2 best quarterbacks yesterday. And I know Jalen Hurts doesn't have the huge arm, but he is something, man. And when it's all said and done, Mahomes will be number 1.
I think we're all on that track. It's hard if you watch football, even if you don't watch football, it's hard to look at that guy and say, this isn't the greatest thing I've ever seen.
He's done it. The man played on one leg.
He's a freak.
He is. And we'll continue on this. I want to ask you about the call at the end of the game, too. Did that ruin it for you? Is the NFL happy that is a big talking point on all the shows this morning? We'll get to that next, but first a message from Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Come to Lady Jane's. It is an award-winning haircut, and you can have an opportunity to register for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win a down payment on your dream home up to $200,000. Lady Jane's open 7 days a week. You can walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Wicked awesome.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jason Olafson, DC, the founder of the Custom Health Centers, and we've helped thousands of people learn how easy it is to lose weight and keep it off with our customized weight loss and body contouring programs.
With Custom Health, you don't feel hungry, you eat well. My name is Simeon Timbuk, and I've lost 71 pounds on the program.
Call us at 844-789-THIN or visit CustomHealthCenters.com for a free consultation and get started for as little as $5 a day.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man-meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Yeah, listen, he grew up in a locker room. He's seen the greats, and he strives to be the greatest. I mean, without saying anything, that's the way he works. I mean, he wants to be the greatest player ever. That's what he wants to do, and that's the way he goes about his business. And he does it humbly. You know, I mean, there's no bragging. He could stand up here and give you these stats that are incredible that he's had, but he's never going to do that. That's just not him. And so we appreciate that. And then when it's time for the guys around him to raise their game, he helps them with that. He's one of these great quarterbacks make everybody around him better, including the head coach. So he's done a heck of a job.
That was Andy Reid talking about his quarterback, two-time MVP winner, two-time Super Bowl champ, Patrick Mahomes. And let me ask.
Congrats to Andy Reid.
Absolutely, we'll get to Andy Reid in a little bit. We've got a thought on Andy Reid. Want to get yours as well. When it comes to Mahomes, why do we have to even do it though? We're all doing it. Can't we just enjoy what he's doing? Right? This kid is not even in his prime yet. I mean, he is just entering his prime. Like, there's so much more football to be played. And we all know when it's all said and done, he's going to be the greatest quarterback, numero uno. Yeah. And probably in the Michael Jordan, Wayne Gretzky era. Yeah. That's how we're going to talk about Patrick Mahomes when it's all said and done. At least that's my belief. Why don't we just watch and enjoy it? How many times do we say, man, we hated Michael Jordan. We hated LeBron James. You might hate Wayne Gretzky. You got nothing to hate with this guy. Sit back and enjoy it.
Because you just hit the nail on the head. When Michael Jordan first started asserting his dominance in the NBA, people already saw the trajectory he was on. Like, you could see that Iron Mike, him too. But you can see Iron Mike was different. You can see that Air Jordan was different. You saw the trajectory he was on. You saw 63 in overtime at the Garden with nobody else on that team, and you were like, he's going to be the best player of all time. You knew. And the list goes on. You talk about Gretzky. After 3 years with the the Oilers, the Edmonton Oilers, you're like, this Gretzky kid is freaking awesome. He's special. Here comes 1 cup. Here comes 2 cups. Here comes 3 cups. Here comes 4 cups. Like, it happened early, but you knew, Maz. Am I lying?
No.
You knew with Gretzky early. The problem is nowadays, when you see it, when you notice something, everybody, you're right. Everybody wants to automatically start comparing people out the gate, year 1, year 2. But this is different. When you see what Mahomes has done, nobody's done what he's done in 5 years. Nobody's had the records that he's had. Nobody has the numbers that he's had. So it's so easy to have it, because we're used to arguing now anyway. Right. Who's the best? Is it Jordan or is it LeBron? Is it this guy or is it that guy? Is it Tom Brady or is it Drew Brees or is it Aaron Rodgers? We're so used to doing it nowadays that it fits right into where society is in 2023. But I would be lying if I say he's not special, and I'd be lying if I said. We've seen it from day one he walked into as the starting quarterback for the team. Even the last game he played that year, his rookie year, that game he played, he was great. We just know what he's going to be, so I'm like, why drag it out?
I'll tell you this. A guy that no one has ever talked about coming into this game is a guy they stole from the New York Giants in Kadarius Toney. They stole him. And this guy is going to be special as well. Congrats.
He flipped that game.
Congrats to the Chiefs.
Longest punt return in Super Bowl history. 65 yards. Could have scored.
It was a perfect run. Perfect.
Guys, let me ask you. I thought the game was a classic. I felt robbed of just one of the greatest finishes in Super Bowl history because of the penalty call. Was it a penalty? Probably. Was there an admission on Bradbury's part that he tugged him? Yes. He was hoping to get away with it. I don't think you make that call in that spot on that stage. I just don't think you do it, and it ruined the finish for me.
It would have been 4th down. They would have kicked the field goal.
They would have kicked the field goal there. Philadelphia.
Which they did anyway, except they killed the clock after that.
So they would have had about 1:48 with the ball, Philadelphia, without that penalty being called.
It was 3rd and 8. It was uncatchable anyway, and it is what it is.
Listen, we've gotten to a point in society where, we negotiate law. We negotiate rules. We've gotten to the point where you see a rule or you see a law and it gets broken or it gets flipped on the other side, and now we're like, well, you shouldn't have done it that way, or you shouldn't have. Okay, officer, I was going 50 and a 45, but was it really that bad? You could have let me go. Yeah, it was a penalty, but because it was in that moment, you should have let it go. No. No, because if he would have let that penalty go, and that was an actual penalty, Bradbury admitted it. What more do you need out of a player to admit that it was a penalty than you to say, you know what, damn, that was a penalty.
But it was ticky-tack.
Hold up, the ref got it right, but as fans, we didn't want it to happen. I agree with you on that. I didn't want it to happen as a fan, but at the same time, I saw the hole, and he held him twice. And Patrick Mahomes threw the ball to a spot, which made it even a clearer call because he threw it to a spot, which made it look like he impeded him getting to that spot. You mad at that, or you mad at Bradbury? So, like, are you mad at James Bradbury for making the penalty and admitting he made the penalty? Like, are you mad at that play? That one particular play decided the game? No. That one play didn't. It didn't decide the game. That awful special teams play on the punt return, that helped decide the game. The defensive line that was supposed to be the best ever next to the monsters of the Midway in '85, donut on the sack line. They let Patrick Mahomes dance out there with one ankle. So don't get mad at that one call, which was a call. Now, if there's anything to be mad at, I'm mad at how they called the game all game. They were inconsistent.
That's exactly it.
I agree with you.
That's the point.
Because they didn't call anything all game, and then all of a sudden they called this. So it's inconsistent with how you've called the game.
That's the point.
That I did not like. I can admit there.
Let me ask you this.
But I'm not going to be outraged because it was actually a play call. Go ahead. I'm more outraged that they don't know what a catch is in the damn NFL.
I'm more outraged about that.
Sheesh.
I'm not outraged at all, but I will tell you this. Let's just say they didn't call it. And they kicked the field goal, and let's say Philly went down and tied the game, went to overtime. Who knows who wins? Philadelphia sports radio would not even have brought that play up because it was so inconsequential, ticky-tack, it meant nothing, and they threw the flag there. That's all, and I really didn't give a damn, to tell you the truth.
Can you imagine if that's a Lions game? Like if the Lions lost the game based on
100%.
Like, I just... In that spot, on that stage, in that game, I don't think you call it
what does that mean?
Foul.
On that stage, in that spot, in that game. The rules don't apply now?
No, you could call a foul on every play.
True.
You could call a foul on every play. If you wanted to call a foul on every play, you can call it.
Yeah.
And I think you have to be aware. I think the flag was a kind of a late flag. And I think once you see that ball way overthrown. Now, Bradbury, everybody's talking about the Bradbury comment. Yeah, I hooked him. If you looked and watched him say it, his mind was going a million miles a minute as to how do I say this without getting fined, or how do I say this with the most amount of class I could possibly have, because I will hand it to that young man for the way he handled that moment.
And his coach handled it well.
It was, everybody's talking about the quote, but the way he said it, he knew that play shouldn't have been called a penalty. I just don't think you call that play. I just don't.
I disagree with in terms of him thinking about it. Like, look, if he was completely outraged over that, like, this is a Super Bowl. You get paid. Like in the playoffs, you don't get paid a contract where everybody's stipulated. Everybody's getting paid the same. And the fact that they made it all the way, they get bonuses in each round. He had more than enough bonus money to pay a fine. So if he chooses to say, I'm outraged, no, it wasn't an effing penalty, and I'm outraged. He would have had enough money in playoff bonuses to pay that fine if he was really, really outraged. But I do agree with Maz. Nick Sirianni and James Bradbury were nothing but class as it relates to this play. You just asked the question, Ryan Ermanni. You said, what if that were the Lions? What if that were the Lions? They would have been outraged. But what if that was another team? I don't know how everybody would have reacted in that situation. Nick Sirianni, we've seen him get after players. You saw him in the game trying to go after the Chiefs a little bit, and you saw the class of Jalen Hurts say, man, put your arm down, coach. So I was expecting him to blame that play. I was expecting him to go on a tangent. I was expecting James Bradbury to show me how angry he really was. Those guys were epitome of class, and you could tell that it starts at the top with the coach and goes down to the players because they handle that way.
The owner, too, Jeffrey Lurie.
They handle it exceptionally.
Let me play for you Jalen Hurts talking about the loss after this one, 38-35. The Eagles lose to the Chiefs. Here's Jalen Hurts after the game.
What is one lesson that you learned from this game that you'll take on to the next?
Man, I think you want to cherish these moments. You want to cherish these moments with the people that you've come so far with. You know, your family, your loved ones, your teammates, your peers, everyone that you do it with and do it for. And I'm so proud of this team. I will say I'm so proud of this team for everything that we've been able to overcome. Obviously, we had a big-time goal in the end that we wanted to accomplish, and we came up short. And I think the beautiful part about it is everyone experiences different pains. Everyone experiences different agonies of life. But you decide if you want to learn from it. You decide if you want to use that to be a teachable moment. And I know what I'll do. So.
Okay, thanks everyone.
Thanks,
Joe.
Make a hole right here, guys. You guys. That's good.
God, I'm so glad that Patrick Mahomes won. We're talking about Mahomes, this, that, and the other thing. How do you root against that kid?
4 touchdowns.
I just and Braylon, you said earlier today when we were talking on Fox 2, and I had to really think about this for a minute, and I'm not sure you're so far off. He might have and could have been, and I don't think anybody would have batted an eye
MVP,
if he was named the MVP of that game.
1,000%. It's interesting that he plays a game this good, Maz, on the 2 days after Howley was inducted to the Hall of Fame, which as of right now is the only player in NFL history to win Super Bowl MVP and not win the game, much like Jerry West did.
Super Bowl 5.
He was good call, Maz. He was freaking insane yesterday. 10 first down rushes. 10 first down rushes. He had 3 touchdowns on the ground. He threw some beautiful passes. And you heard everybody say it, so I'm not going to say anything different than anyone said today. There were probably 7 great passes in that game. 5 of them belonged to Jalen Hurts. Like the spots that he was picking for Goddard on the sideline. A.J. Brown in the end zone.
A.J. Brown touchdown might have been
how quick he gets rid of the ball.
Best throw I've seen all season.
And this is the same guy that guys were saying couldn't throw the ball a year ago. Less than a year ago. Less than 7 months ago. Less than 5 months ago. And this is how well he played. This is the type of guy in an era right now where everybody's me, and this, and just look at me and look at this. See, this is the guy I want my kids to model themselves after. Like, this is the guy that I'm proud that my kids can see a Jalen Hurts, how he operates to the microphone, how he was able to, Nick Sirianni, who's supposed to be the coach, put your arm down. Come on, we got a game to win. How he goes to the microphone after every loss, how he's handled everything. The man had a hell of a game. The only game I've seen better than that was the Tom Brady game where he was, 500 yards and 3 touchdowns, and they lost to the Eagles.
Against the Eagles.
That was the only game I've ever seen that was better than this. He did everything he was supposed to do. Everything. Who was supposed to step up in this game? It was supposed to be that great defense of the Eagles. Guess what? I didn't see them.
Where was Sue?
Where was Sue? Where was Hassan Reddick? Where was Fletcher Cox? Oh, that's right. Same guy that wore the blouse.
That KC O-line. Oh, man.
Same guy.
Same guy.
Same guy that wore the blouse.
Same guy that wore the blouse. That's why you got held. Where were these guys at? Like, where were those guys at, man? I'm telling you. Like, he was the only one that showed up for the entirety of that game. He was the only that special teams. He was the only one that showed up for the entirety of that game. And this is probably the first time that I've been on with Maz has said all the time, you just hate that somebody's got to lose. That's the first time I
said
felt
it
that
last night again during the game.
Agree.
I was like, I don't want someone to lose.
I've
this
never
game.
seen somebody deserve to win so much, but at the same time, the person on the other side deserved it just a little bit more.
And what happened? He drops a damn ball, and really,
Nick Bolton
could have had 2 touchdowns.
Should have had 2 touchdowns.
That is a catch, but it's not a catch. And what the hell is a catch anymore?
Was it
the second one was
Devontae Smith on the sideline? So
that's a catch.
I'm glad you asked that. I know you want to get to it.
Let's talk about this because
they're all catches.
And Dan Miller tweeted out something I want to ask you guys about too. It's just it's
idiotic.
So bizarre these days. Guys, going to take a break, but first a message from Chili Peppers Tanning.
Hey, this is a special week for Chili Peppers Tanning, guys. It's officially free tanning week from now until Saturday. That's right, February the 18th. New customers go to any Chili Peppers Tanning, and there's 27 locations, 2 right here on Woodward. You get any level UV tanning for free today. 50% off all lotions, including the favorites, Australian Gold, Designer Skin, Caltan, and Swedish Beauty. Join the Pepper Club for all the best deals that beat all competitors by $5. The hottest deals, the darkest tans, your vitamin D headquarters, ChiliPeppersTanning.com.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
3 NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there. And that one Lions playoff win in 1991? Yeah, Detroit fans were there. Woodward Sports, where the fans are.
Matrix Home Solutions is your go-to for any home project. Looking for that new man cave? Well, Matrix has you covered. They are your basement remodel experts that also specialize in bathrooms and kitchens as well. With an A+ rating by the Better Business Bureau, why not give them a try? Call them today at 888-594-8844, or you can always check them out online at matrixhomesolutions.com.
Couple of different instances of, I think most viewers watching that game are like, what? There were 2 different catches, one on the sidelines, and then the second fumble return for a touchdown that wasn't. I mean, I was glad that they allowed the play to continue.
Yeah.
Dan Miller tweeted this during the game yesterday, and it was after the first catch on the sidelines that was a catch.
On the left side.
Yeah,
Right side.
I think that was the Goddard.
Yeah, that was the one where they gave him like 5 minutes to decide if they
Right.
The first one was Devontae Smith, and the second one was
Devontae
Goddard.
Smith. There you go.
Yeah, I can't wait to talk about that.
We will never get this solved totally. It is absolutely a problem when the NFL's former vice president of officiating can't come to the same conclusion as the replay crew on whether or not we have a catch. It either is or it isn't, but we aren't there, and I don't see how we ever get there. So you've got Mike Pereira in the booth, and maybe a lot of this is just having these former officials in the booth. But when Mike Pereira, who is the former vice president of officiating, he's the guy in charge of the officials.
Yeah.
He doesn't know if it's a catch and comes to a different conclusion that the guys on the field who are also trying to figure out if something is a catch or not. If they are confused on if you caught the football or not, how do you move forward? What does that mean?
It's a gross. That's what it is.
So when I got into the NFL, they told me that catching a pass was securing the catch, making sure that you had actual visible control, no matter where it was at.
Like every kid has ever been brought up.
Exactly. Every kid in the neighborhood, where however it was placed against your body, 2 hands, a hand in the face, a hand in the head, a hand in the chest. Get 2 feet established. Get 2 feet, not feet.
Boys, that was a catch for a touchdown.
Take your word on it.
Not anymore, it's not. Not anymore, it's not. A catch is a catch, man. You heard Braylon. If I throw you the ball and you catch it and you have 2 feet down, that's a catch. I don't need a football move. I just need a freaking catch. Stop going to the replay and then stop waiting for the defensive team to bring a player on the field so now they could decide if that was a catch or not, the Dallas Goedert catch. And thank God they left that up, because they gave Kansas City like 3 minutes to decide if they wanted to throw a red flag on that or not.
And they did.
Thank God that was a catch. And it cost them a timeout.
Yeah.
It didn't cost them the game, though. But you're ruining the game. All I'm doing is waiting for the referee to blow the whistle before the guy snaps the ball.
You know what I hate?
It sucks.
You know what I hate, man? You're absolutely right. It's freaking awful how bad and I don't even want to say officiating, how bad
the rule is.
How bad the interpretation.
Yes.
There you go. How bad the interpretation is of the rule. Because I'm listening to people say, well, that shouldn't be a call based on how a player reacted to it. Like, that's where we've gotten with officiating, or we've gotten an instant replay where officials are waiting to see how a player reacts so they can make their decision. They're looking at you like, how's he going to react? oh shoot, he's not acting like he caught it. We got to see if he really caught it, because he doesn't appear to be confident. Oh well, wait a minute, he didn't seem outraged after the guy touched him, so maybe it wasn't pass interference. We won't call it. We've gotten to a point where the referees and the rules are so hard to interpret that they're basically reacting off players to see what it was. Is a player looking confident? Then maybe it was a catch. Does a player look pissed? Then maybe it was a pass interference. That's not the way to go moving forward.
Let me ask you this. Are these former officials in the television booths, which are not going to go away, by the way, are they hurting the game more than helping the game? Because they are helping shape the opinion of the public on this. And I think you're creating a lot of trouble when the guy in the booth who tells you what something is or what something shouldn't be, and you get a disconnect more often than not. Should the NFL maybe say, we don't want any more rules analysts. Yeah. We just don't want it. It's not doing our game any good.
I don't want to hear them, Ryan.
Yeah.
Personally, I already know that's a catch or what's not a catch. I don't need them.
I thought the second fumble touchdown, I know it wasn't a catch by the definition, but that dude caught the football. A great defensive play was made on the pop.
So it should have been a fumble.
It should have been a fumble.
It
should have been a touchdown. Simple as that.
If I'm the NFL, I'm getting rid of those referees in the booths, because at the end of the day, they're making my officials in my game look lackluster. They're not looking good. They're making them not look competent. Whatever the word is, they're not looking like they can be
competent.
Thank you, competent. I was going to say competent. They're not looking competent, and that's because the light is being shed on them by Mike Pereira and Dean Blandino. So, like, if I'm the NFL, hell yeah, I'm getting rid of them. But if I'm the fan, if I'm the consumer, I love it because they're keeping the NFL honest. They're making the NFL look at it and see, you got a dumb product. You got some dumb rules right now. You got to fix how you're interpreting those rules. So as a fan, I love them. If I'm the NFL, I'm getting rid of them because they're messing my bottom line.
What do they call that when they turn the play quick before the referee goes to the flag? What, you know
quick
what I mean?
Turnaround? It's like a
no. They reverse the play.
A referee reversal.
They're calling it before.
They call it from up top.
Yeah, they're like, oh, no, it's like here comes a quick reversal.
Why can't you do that?
That should
on
be
every
everything.
Play?
It should be everything.
That goes to that Sky judge.
Yes, that's the guy I want.
Yeah, I don't know why they can't do that. And I think it was the Lions game had an instance of that this year. Where there was a review and it was done prior to even the referee going over and checking out that small monitor.
Whatever the wording is, that's what I like. And that can happen 90% of the time.
Whether it's John Perry at ESPN, Gene Steratore at CBS, Mike Pereira and Dean Blandino at Fox, these guys are helping shape how we feel about how bad the officiating is, to the point where, we were talking for the last couple of weeks about whether or not it was rigged.
Right.
Because there's so many dumb rules in the NFL, and based on the official on the field, it seems like it's left up to interpretation whether or not he thinks something's a catch, something's a fumble, something is a touchdown, something is not a touchdown, whatever the case may be. It's just so dumb. And if I'm the NFL, I might consider just saying, out of the booth, gone.
Why are we looking still at a little tiny TV camera on the side? Why does the ref have to go under the hood still? I mean, you have to sell commercial time and all of that, and I know that's brought to you by whatever. But that is the biggest joke of any sport, is when they go to that little camera, or the NBA guys go to the scorer's table and look at a phone.
Yeah.
When you have these gigantic televisions,
everything
HD,
they do is backwards
everywhere. New York should be making these calls like Toronto makes it in the NHL. That's how you do it. That's the proper way to do these things. Get rid of all these sub-rules, too, because you're ruining the game.
You're absolutely ruining the game, Max, because here it is I'm even still thinking about the highlights. I'm still thinking about the confetti. We're supposed to be in here right now talking about a hell of a game between two amazing competitors, and Jalen Hurts, 4 touchdowns accounted for. By the way, this is a great question to fill in the blank Friday, because I definitely said 350. in there. But we're supposed to be able to talk about Patrick Mahomes, the game that he played, the preparation that Andy Reid had. Talk about the second half adjustments that they made in the locker room for them to be able to see Kadarius Toney, how they would get them in motion, bring them in, because James Bradbury and D. Slay, how those guys are going to overcommit, over-pursue, and bang, pull them right back out, score a touchdown. Run the same thing on the other side. Look at the Travis Kelce touchdown in the first. Watch the mastery that was Andy Reid. But no, instead of talking about the mastery of Andy Reid, instead of talking about how their offensive
Eric
Bieniemy
wow,
and an offensive
calls.
line, talk about how good of a job they've done. Here we are talking about the referees and how they can't interpret calls right because no one has a correct interpretation of what the rules are supposed to be in 2023. Crazy.
How did those two guys get that wide open? They pulled Philly's pants down around their ankles.
Because great motion, man. Great motion. It's
great motion.
Great play design.
That's awesome.
It's elite play design.
Eric Bieniemy talked about earlier in the week. They said they noticed on film how these guys overcommit. Because one thing,
he might have got himself a job.
The reason
for that, for the Ravens.
The reason, like going into this game, a lot of people ask me,
Ravens OC, Washington OC.
A lot of people ask me who wins. I said KC, best quarterback, best coach. When you watch what Andy Reid did, he got those guys ready in the second half, and they played a much different half than they did in the first half. Look at the Eagles in the second half. They fell apart. They got the best defense, this vaunting defense, blah, 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 all this thing. They didn't do anything because Nick Sirianni said, you guys are all pro. You got 17 all pros and and alternates in the Pro Bowl. Hey, go out there and figure it out. And they couldn't. Andy Reid, a great coach, he put his players in position.
How great is Andy Reid as a coach?
He's a genius.
I'm going to compare him to somebody that I'm not sure you're going to like the comparison. But all this stuff about best coach of all time, I got thoughts on that. Looking for yours as well. And then I want to get into some Lions guys. Could the Lions play in that game last night? Are they prepared to play in that game last night? But first, a message from Guardian Alarm. They're your local security experts and have been for over 90 years. When you see that black and yellow sign out in front of your house, tells the bad guys one thing.
Stay out.
Whether you are at home or on the road, they're 24/7 local monitoring. Make sure what is important to you stays safe. Professional monitoring, technology backed by people, customized solutions from real experts. Call 1-800.
Stay out.
That number again, 1-800.
Stay out.
Call them today. Tell them Woodward Sports sent you.
The Sports Marketing Agency would not be who we are without great community partners like Higuera Health and Carol Zuniga.
It's an awesome opportunity to partner with your organization. Higuera Health is a comprehensive behavioral health organization. We serve children through older adults with mental health, substance use, and developmental disabilities across Western Wayne counties, and really excited to now be in downriver communities as well. Give us a call at 734-458-4601.
The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network.
Hey, wintertime in Detroit's always better with comfort foods from Big Boy. If you start your breakfast off, start your day off right. How about that stuffed potato pancake? It is back, and those omelets. The Lumberjack, the Santa Fe Garden, and the Blockbuster. And for lunch and dinner, heck, you can get this for breakfast too if you'd like it. The Cajun Chicken Alfredo and the classic meatloaf. Get to your local Big Boy today.
Guys, one of the conversations surrounding Super Bowl 57 now afterwards, after the Chiefs won for the second time in 4 years, where does this put Andy Reid amongst the greatest coaches of all time? I love Andy Reid, but it is interesting to me that you have this transformational, generational player, and you win two. Without him, you don't win any. You know, I mean, it just, I don't want to take anything.
Got there.
Don't play that game.
I don't want to take anything away from him, but what I do want to highlight is in team sports, it does take more than just the one guy. With Brady, he needed Gronk or Belichick. Belichick needed Brady. Andy Reid needed Patrick Mahomes before he started winning. I mean,
he won. He just hadn't won a Super Bowl yet. He had 14 winning seasons in Philly, though.
Jeff Fisher did too. Jeff Fisher did too.
Yeah, I know.
Jeff Fisher coached 22 years in the NFL.
Did he go to 4 straight NFC championships and a Super Bowl and have his team ready to win that Super Bowl if the quarterback would have played like he was supposed to play?
Nobody didn't have Patrick Mahomes either.
Okay, well, Bill Parcells had Lawrence Taylor.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, every great coach has a great player.
Right.
Phil Jackson, obviously he was exposed, right? I mean, he had Kobe and Shaq, and he had Jordan and Pippen.
Yeah.
It's interesting we talk about great coaches in relation. Look at some of the greatest coaches that have ever coached in any sport and show me their players. Pop, right? People talk about Greg Popovich in the NBA. Won 5 championships with Tim Duncan, worst team in the league right now. You know what I mean? And have been for a long time.
It takes a player and a coach.
How great is Greg Popovich as a coach?
He's great. Able to sustain success in an era of Kobe and Shaq, in an era of Kobe and Paul Gasol, in an era of how vaunted that West was. I mean, these guys were an injury away from actually beating the Golden State Warriors in their first one, if you remember. They were up by 25 before Kawhi broke his ankle, and then the rest is history. So you're going to need great players as a great coach, and as great players, you're going to need a great coach. They go hand in hand. You can't have one without the other.
You like Andy Reid, Maz?
I like him a lot.
He's an offensive genius. He's lasted 24 years. He's had success. 14 years with the Eagles, 10 years now with the KC. Even before Patrick Mahomes was a quarterback, Andy Reid had Alex Smith in the AFC Championship game. He turned that Chiefs team around with Alex Smith, who was a team
former number 1 overall pick,
and he's a guy that the 49ers gave away. And he's a guy that they gave away. That former number 1 overall pick doesn't mean anything.
So
I'm not going to put him in the Bill Belichick era yet. I'm not going to put him in the Bill Walsh. But maybe.
Did you kill Bill Walsh?
Maybe he killed Bill Walsh. But what if him and Bill Walsh kind of go hand in hand?
Bill Walsh, Joe Montana.
Offensive geniuses. I'm not going to bring Bill Parcells up yet because he got a special place in my heart. But the guy's going to go to the Hall of Fame.
As he should.
Well,
you look at Bill Belichick. Everybody's got Bill Belichick. What if Andy Reid and how good he is with his offensive genius? What if he was a coach for the New England Patriots in that easy-ass division for 20 years? How many times could he have potentially won the Super Bowl? It's all about
we'll never know.
Exactly.
We'll never know.
I look at Belichick, and what he's done is amazing. He's definitely the GOAT. He has to be the GOAT. I get all of that. You can't argue against it. 8 or 9, 10, 11, 12 Super Bowls. How many there are? When you add in the Giants. No, when you add the Giants ones. I think they had 3 with the Giants, and he's got 6, so 9. When you add all that in. But, I mean, that division was very easy for the better part of 15 years. I should know. I was over there. So, but I think he's a damn good coach. And at the end of the
he's a great coach.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be the greatest of all time. He's one of the coaches that when you think best coach of all time, his name should be one that comes up. Now, is he better? Can I name 5 guys better than him? I'm not taking him over Parcells. I'm not taking him over Belichick. I may not take him over Shula if I'm older. Obviously, Lombardi if you want to go the ancient route. And then
Tom Landry.
I knew he was going to say Tom Landry. So.
Chuck Noll.
Yeah, Bill Walsh. I mean, Bill Walsh has 4. So yes, those are some hard. Chuck Noll, you said 4. John Madden. It's tough to put him over those coaches.
Yeah, I don't think he's over those guys.
But his name should definitely be able to come up, and that'd be okay. Is that fair to say?
Top 20.
What about Eric Bieniemy, guys? Before we get off this,
I didn't have anything.
Eric Bieniemy.
I think he cemented his place last night as a phenomenal play caller.
He's got to get out of there, right?
But the way Andy is talking, he ain't going anywhere. And he says if Eric leaves, I want him to be the boss. And he ain't going to be the boss right now.
I finally am no longer subscribing to that. I'm no longer subscribing to Eric Bieniemy waiting under this man to retire, finish, or give me the keys to the kingdom. Here's why. 1, there's no certainty that the Hunt family is okay with that. There's no certainty that this is a situation like down in Tampa where Bruce Arians can say, hey, Todd Bowles, I'm gonna sit down. Todd Bowles is gonna be my guy, and they be okay with that. They were okay with that. They may not be okay with it. I heard something last night and this morning where the players were talking about Andy Reid coming back, and Andy said, as long as the players will have me. Like, that don't sound like a guy that's leaving. Even though I heard some of the stuff earlier in the week, he said, as long as they'll have me,
he ain't going anywhere.
So that's what. So if I'm Eric Bieniemy and I'm listening to this, like, as long as the players will have me, who the hell wouldn't want to have Andy Reid for another go around?
So here's
just keep the job if you're Eric. Keep the job.
I'm out.
Here's why here's exactly what leads me to believe about this Andy Reid take, which might be bad or just my opinion. Eric Bieniemy doesn't get any credit.
Right. For being Andy Reid.
Well, listen, Eric Bieniemy gets no credit for being a great offensive coordinator because he's Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is his quarterback.
Right.
So why do we give so much to Andy Reid? Because Patrick Mahomes is his quarterback. If Eric Bieniemy ain't getting any, why is Andy Reid getting all the credit? Because Eric Bieniemy is devising the game plan. He is designing the plays. He has been the offensive coordinator. Why do we discount Eric Bieniemy because Patrick Mahomes is his quarterback, but we don't discount Andy Reid because Patrick Mahomes is his quarterback?
Because we saw what Andy Reid could do for 14 years in Philadelphia when they had the #1 offense or in the top 3. So every year, the time where he was there, saw him get to a Super Bowl, and saw even without T.O. how great that offense was, and then they got to the Super Bowl. Then you see what he did with Alex Smith. And turned that, because before Patrick started balling, Kareem Hunt and Tariq Hill were there, and Travis Kelce before Patrick Mahomes. So you saw what Andy Reid could do through that.
So let me stop you right there, because that answers my question. That's why Eric Bieniemy has to leave, even if he doesn't get a head coaching job. That's why he's got to go to Baltimore. Yeah. He's got to go to Washington. Adam Schefter is
Maybe he don't want to be a head coach.
Well, I think he does.
That's another good point.
I think he does.
He's got a great gig. You're coaching Patrick Mahomes.
Well, no.
Under Andy Reid.
Listen, I don't know if he wants to be a head coach, but we will find out based on what he does this offseason.
Agreed.
If he leaves
he wants to
Kansas City, he wants to be a head coach.
There you go.
If he stays in Kansas City,
he's
totally fine. But I didn't realize Andy Reid was as young as he is. Andy Reid's only in his early 60s, like 64 years old.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got Bill Belichick at 70-plus going strong. I think Andy Reid.
Pete Carroll.
If you have Pete Carroll, 70 years
he's
old.
Oldest.
If you're Andy Reid, why are you stopping this train? Why are you getting off this bus? I mean, you take this Patrick Mahomes situation as long as you can.
Didn't you hear Terry yesterday saying, "Oh, that's it for you, big boy," right? He's like, "No way. No way." I mean, Terry, by the way, Terry Bradshaw, get the hook.
He should be
get him the hell off the stage.
He's done.
Yes.
My wife is even like, "That's how embarrassing is this? You don't call the guy Waddle over here." I know that two fat guys talking to each other, and they really don't give a damn. But that's not nice. Have some respect.
Even though you don't give a damn, like Matt, you just said, like there is a certain level of class, there's a certain level of respect that you have in yourself, that you know you're on the Super Bowl stage. Like you're not, all right, you waddle yourself over. Like nobody acts like that.
This ain't a bar.
Exactly. And it 100%. This ain't the bar. This is the Super Bowl.
And Roger Goodell hugging players. Act like a commissioner.
Yeah, he
acts. He's an actor. He's a phony.
I think part yes and no. Yes and no, because I've seen him kind of adapt this role now. Like he's the big hugger during the
I'm a hugger.
During the draft now, he hugs all the players. They got their own handshakes, and he's gotten better. I'm being honest, I think he's gotten better. I think he's reaching out to more players. I think he is doing a better job in the league. Now he's still the voice for the owners, but I think he's no longer the complete stooge that he was early on when people because remember people really hated him.
Yeah.
When it came out he's making $41 million, $42, they really didn't like him. And when all the DeMaurice Smith things were going on, like now I think he's different. I think he kind of speaks out for himself.
Hey, were you done with the halftime show?
Rihanna, come on, man, of course.
I gotta tell you, I love Rihanna. I thought the song selection was terrible off the start.
Terrible
off the jump.
They were
She's
great.
got so many hits.
That's her #1 album of all time.
Yeah.
Like that album has actually reached diamond. That's the only one of her albums that reached diamond.
But I thought the most known songs were kind of at the end. I would have opened up with those.
It's Rihanna, man. Like everything she did was beautiful. Like I think it was a different. It was a different vibe for the Super Bowl. You know, it was a one-off. She had her dancers; they were all females. And you saw it was a huge show, or it was a huge Super Bowl show empowering female. The flyover was an all-female flyover.
Did you see the joke about that?
No, I didn't.
Somebody tweeted about the all-female flyover,
Lord have mercy.
and Twitter was like, "Yeah, because all the men are in fighter jets shooting down Chinese spy balloons."
Oh my God.
Is that killing you?
Hey man, internet.
Is that killing you? Undefeated.
But Rihanna, man, I think she was dope. I think she was
down the balloon.
She was sexy. She was elegant, classy. She's pregnant again, and I think she did
smelling her fingers.
She did an amazing show while being pregnant, and she was just like, you know, like the queen.
Oh my God! Did you see the spike in "Is Rihanna pregnant?" Google searches?
Oh yeah, it was
at like 9:23 or something.
Didn't she just have a baby like 4 months ago?
It was ridiculous, and then it was like, nah, it's a little longer than that, man. But then also it was dang, the spike, because it was one of those. If you were on Twitter talking about she was pregnant, you should have been careful last night, because it was body shaming. Because that's where a lot of people were coming out. Like, a lot of females, like, oh, they're body shaming. She's not pregnant. She's just this beautiful woman that just had a baby, like Matt said. And she's just enjoying her womanly size and blah, blah, blah. No, it turns out she is pregnant, so it wasn't body shaming.
That's what she did right at the beginning. She touched her belly.
You guys were just
She gave it away. It was the
giveaway.
She's pregnant.
Another thing that jaded me about the halftime show last night is
last year's show.
Last year's, man.
Yeah, last year.
To me, there will never be a greater halftime show, to me, than last year.
Who the hell are you going to bring out from Arizona?
I understand that, but,
I'm with you.
Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg,
they are
Eminem, 75 Cent, or is it 50?
75
Well,
Cent.
50 Cent was a little heavier, so I call him 75 Cent last year.
Whoa. he was a whole dollar last year.
But I mean, last year's halftime show
set the bar high.
Was so elite, and it got everybody up in my house watching the game, and we were standing in front of the TV, singing along, doing everything. This one, we're all sitting down. I mean, it was great. I think, too, a lot of us were sitting down because we were like, couldn't breathe watching her. No, couldn't breathe watching her on those platforms.
Way up there,
She was locked in there, by the way.
Man. She was
had latched in there.
Had to have.
That scared the daylights out of her.
It was a different halftime show for a different performance. I think last year, obviously, they had to do it big. It was SoFi. SoFi cost $4.5 billion to make. Shout out to Stan Kroenke with all his cheese and the Spanos family. But they made that. Then the Super Bowl's in L.A. Like, L.A., this is the first time you got Dr. Dre coming out.
Come on,
like,
man.
Jay-Z's working with the NFL now, so, you know, they set that up perfectly. Begged Dr. Dre to do it. So I think it was very specific to L.A. Like, Phoenix is like, well, we go playing Phoenix. So I definitely understand what you're saying, but I think they pulled it off with Rihanna. I think it was a hell of a halftime show. Everybody knows who Rihanna is. I think outside of what, Maz? What didn't you like? The finger smell?
Yeah, I didn't like her smelling her finger, sticking it in her behind.
Family show.
Well, you watched it.
Yeah, no, I mean,
family show. I'm just telling you what happened.
Hey, man,
no, I'm saying the halftime show is a family show.
I didn't get that. Tell me what I missed.
Hey,
as a dummy, tell me what I missed.
Hey, if you were one-on-one with it, it might not have smelled that bad. So,
guys, we'll take a break. Come right back. I want to tell you about. I want to ask you guys about the Lions. I want to get this a little bit closer to home. Could they play in a game like last night? Are they prepared to do that? Are they 1, 2, 3 players away? Could they hang with Mahomes and the Chiefs? Can they get past Hurts and the Eagles? We'll talk a little Lions, and we'll tell you where their odds are.
The Detroit Lions?
Yes, the Detroit Lions. Where the odds are for next season. You won't want to go anywhere. But first, a message from Custom Health Centers. Custom Health Centers, they take the willpower out of weight loss. Mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically. They will make you feel better about yourself. Down over 16 pounds. I am over the last few months, ever since I started this program. Whether it's 20 pounds, 120 pounds, Custom Health Centers will help you get to your weight loss goals. Call them right now, 844-789-THIN. That number again, 844-789-THIN.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan. Woo!
With 26 locations in the Metro Detroit area and more coming, Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D. Join the Pepper Club for the best deals on unlimited tanning. Head to chilipepperstanning.com.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
Central World's aspirational lifestyle beverage brand with a line of sparkling flavored energy drinks and premium bottled waters. Better tasting, better energy drinks, and they are here to re-energize the community. That's why they partnered up with WoodwardSports.com, as well as the Detroit Pistons, the Detroit Red Wings, and all things moving at LCA. So go ahead, try some of this cranberry because it is amazing. Drink it, live it with Central.
You know, almost forget about Mahomes and the Chiefs for a minute and focus on Hurts and the Eagles.
Okay.
Trying to localize that topic last night, that game last night. And I'm thinking to myself, for as good as I felt about the Detroit Lions this year and the way their season ended, so disappointed they didn't get a chance to go take on San Francisco and just see what they had. Take a shot at the playoffs and see where the chips fall. I'm watching that game yesterday. I'm like, man, could these guys really hang with the Eagles?
No.
In Philadelphia?
No.
In January?
No.
Could they really get past them right now? There's still a lot of work to do, Braylon.
It's still a lot of work, and listen, and it's no disrespect to the Detroit Lions. So for those out there, oh no, this is called real talk. This is called real spit. In order to get in those situations, like in order to be in those situations and be able to have success in those situations, one, you got to be battle tested. Two, you got to have the right people. You got to have the right team. You got to have the right players. The Lions are on the right track. I mean, you see how they open up as the number 9 favorite. And MGM Sports Betting, they're 9 to win the Super Bowl next year or to get to the big dance. So people believe in them, but you got to have the full roster. When you watch the season last year, early on, they struggled because the defense was bad. They played an NFC that was a bad NFC, by the way. When you really look at what the Eagles went through, which is another thing we talked about, looking at what the Eagles had to go through to get to the Super Bowl, was it going to hurt them or hamper them? Because they hadn't seen anything like Patrick Mahomes. And we got our answer. But you look at the Detroit Lions, they struggled defensively early. And even later on in the season, when they played well defensively, still struggled in the secondary. Got to get some secondary members there that you fully trust. Got to get a big guy in the middle. So you saw what happened when team can run the ball, like the Carolina Panthers, how they ran on the Detroit Lions. So there's some things that you got to shore up so that you can be one of these teams. Everybody wants to point to the Cincinnati Bengals so bad as the Detroit Lions because year 2, Joe Burrow, they go to the Super Bowl, Jamar Chase first year. They're like, man, they made the Super Bowl. They had some holes on the offensive line. They had some holes on the defensive side. Yeah, but they also had some players that are going to be gold jacket wearers. Like they got some guys on it that were just amazing, and it came together just right. The Lions have enough firepower in the offseason in terms of draft capital, in terms of money that they've saved because of players that they've gotten rid of. So they can put together a team in this offseason, I think, that can compete on this level with the Eagles coming into next year, because the Eagles are going to have to make some decisions. They're going to have to let some people go, including Bradbury and maybe some other players. But this particular year, this Super Bowl, no, they weren't ready to go into Philly and beat the Philadelphia Eagles to go to Glendale, Arizona to play for the Super Bowl. But next year, they got enough on the offseason where I think they can be that.
Are you ready for this? Earlier today, there was a guy on our feed. His name is Bronco. Hey, Mass.
Nagurski?
Yeah, Bronco. He said, hey, Mass, what do you think the Lions are going to do in the draft after watching last night's game? Do you think they'll look at Philadelphia and say, hey, wow, they had a great defense, but guess what? Kansas City still put up almost 40 points on them. So what have you been talking about what to do in the draft?
Offense.
Yeah, the Lions could have played last night. You know why? They could have gave up 38 points, and they might have scored 41 points. I'm just saying. Offense wins right now in today's game. You're not going to stop Patrick Mahomes.
He scored on every single drive in the second half.
One incomplete pass was a throwaway. You're not going to stop him, but I'll damn what, you're not going to stop us either. We're gonna punch you right in your face every single time, right back at you. Go offense this draft. I'm with you.
My thing all along, Braylon, has been take what you do the best and make it better. If you can do that, I think you can play in every single football game you play in.
You can.
And, whether it's Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud, or Anthony Richardson, those two quarterbacks last night really highlighted the fact that I'm not sure you can go all the way with Jared Goff. I just watching those two quarterbacks last night and their 7th round running backs, the only reason they got 7th round running backs is because they got 2 future Hall of Famers at quarterback.
Yeah.
They got on rookie deals, by the way. So whether it's Isaiah Pacheco in the 7th round, your running back,
that's pretty good.
Or you got
he got
Kenneth Gainwell. Is that even his name?
Yeah, it is. Kenneth Gainwell.
I mean, Kenny Gainwell and Boston Scott
could have won you some money.
I mean, take Anthony Richardson, take Bijan Robinson, and be done with it. Make what you do great even greater. That's how you compete in today's NFL.
I'm absolutely okay with drafting a quarterback because I've always said Jared Goff is not going to win you a Super Bowl. Even now that I say I like Jared Goff, I keep saying, and much like all of us, we like Jared Goff for this immediate year, this next year.
He's Alex Smith.
100%. All right. With that being said, when you look at the Eagles and you look at the route that they went through, and before you say, yeah, look, their defense was this, and they still got 38 points put on them by the Kansas City Chiefs. That's because their defensive coordinator went to fuck sleep. Excuse my French. That's because he went to sleep.
Good for you.
That's because he went to sleep.
For you.
You got all these players on defense like James Bradbury, Pro Bowl, Darius Slay, Pro Bowl. Excuse me. By the way, both All Pro, safety Pro Bowler, Fletcher Cox Pro Bowler, Hassan Reddick. He was in the running for Defensive Player of the Year, and the list goes on. Brandon Graham had 11 sacks this year. Sweat had 11.5 sacks this year. They had so many defensive players with so much talent. Sue came out of nowhere and had a couple sacks at the end of the season. They had all this, but you know what they didn't have? They didn't have a defensive coordinator to put them in good positions to help them against the Kansas City Chiefs. The same thing you saw out of Andy Reid on the offensive side. He was like, oh, yeah, they are good defense. But guess what? Guess who's a better genius on offense? And he went back there and he made adjustments. And they adjusted. And they ran circles.
Slay didn't know where to go. He ran the opposite way on the Tony touchdown.
Both of them did. Bradbury did the same thing. That's why he got caught holding at the end of the game. They had the ball for 22 minutes. The Chiefs did. And still put up 38 points. So I understand, yes, they still had 38 points put on this vaunting defense. But that's because they put a John Calipari move. You know what John Calipari does at UK? He said, I'm going to get all the McDonald's All-Americans, and I'm going to put them out there in the court. And then in Final Four, I'm going to say, hey, you go win me a championship. No, coach.
No, they don't.
You got to coach.
They can't even get to the 16 anymore.
You got to coach John Calipari, just like the defensive coordinator for the Philadelphia Eagles. You didn't coach in the second half, and your team got destroyed. So Aaron Glenn, I think, is a better defensive coordinator with that talent. And I stand on that.
Offense.
Boom.
Offense.
You might not have Patrick Mahomes, but you can put everything else together.
True.
Guys, Braylon mentioned it, and I want to get to it next. We'll take a break, but when we come back, the Lions getting a lot of respect out in Vegas next year. How many teams are in front of them in the NFC to get to the Super Bowl? We'll have that for you. But first, a message from Fairway Packing Company. Looking for a way to elevate your dinner? Choose Fairway Packing Company, family owned and operated since 1956. You can try the Burrata Blend burgers, the award-winning Chop House steaks, or impress your friends with a dry-aged Wagyu Tomahawk steak. By the way, Maz, did Emmett win the bet yesterday?
He did not.
He did not win the bet yesterday. Darn it. All right. Well, see why the top chefs in the country choose Fairway. Visit the steak shop in Grosse Pointe Woods or order online to ship anywhere. Visit fairwaypacking.com. Fairwaypacking.com. Sourced, cut, aged, packed to perfection.
Love Woodward sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Beverly Hills Golf, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
Have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper, tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
Be sure to check Swiss Insurance this week for your commercial insurance review. Swiss can make sure you have the proper coverage, so you might as well let them. Give them a shout. My man Mark, he'll get you right. Swiss Insurance Group.
Okay, guys. So, Braylon, you had alluded to this earlier, and that is the respect that the Lions are getting from the odds makers in Vegas. Depending upon which book you go to, they have either the 9th best or 10th best odds to win the Super Bowl. Wow. Win the Super Bowl next year.
Detroit fans.
God. Plus 2,500. By the way, Braylon, the teams that they're tied with are two teams that they absolutely crushed this year. They beat Green Bay twice, and they destroyed the Jaguars. Your initial impression of these odds?
This is respect. Like, this is a lot of respect. And the reason why I like this respect, because it's honest respect that is deserved. A lot of times you'll see teams have a good season, per se, but then you won't see them high up on this list. Like, where they at? The teams they played against were losing teams. Also, you look at what they're going to do. You look at where the cap space is. You look at where they're picking in the draft. I think the action makers, they're looking at all these things around this equation. They're looking at the Detroit Lions. What did they pick? Oh, they got good draft capital. How much do they have to spend offseason? Oh, they got some good money too. The picks that they've had in the last couple of years. What's the quarterback situation looking like? What's their strength? What's their weakness? I think when you look at all these things and what they have moving forward from this until April 23rd or whatever the draft is, 24th or 26th, like, the Lions are in a really good position. I feel like they're giving Dan Campbell the credit of being a good coach by making him 9th in the odds, and they're also giving Brad Holmes good credit in terms of being a draft-worthy guy because of where they are in these odds.
This is the first time, I don't remember, since the Barry Sanders era, that I've ever seen the Lions on the left side of that kind of ledger. To be in the top 10 favorites of next year, they know what they're talking about. What do I always tell you? 2 words. Vegas knows. The Lions are for real, folks. We did talk about, can they take a step back next year? They might. But you know what? They had it this year. They had it. They were on the precipice of winning. They didn't get in. If they did, they would have been trouble. If they can repeat, it's going to be awesome. I see nothing but great things for them coming up in this draft, and I think they're going to be in the playoffs next year for sure with a shot.
Braylon, we talk about the Lions being in the top 10, and that's fine. There are only 3 teams in the NFC that have better odds than they do, and that is Philadelphia, San Francisco, and Dallas. So you are talking about Detroit as elite when it comes to NFC teams. In that kind of respect factor, are we setting up here ourselves for a really special year or a really, really depressing one with all these expectations?
Looking at these odds, we're setting ourselves up for a very interesting year all the way around. We'll find out if it's going to be depressing or if it's going to be good at the end of it. But when I look at it, it's warranted, and here's why it's warranted. You look at number 9. Why the Lions at number 9? Well, to end the season last year, they were 8-2 in their last 10 games. They won 8 out of 10 games in the end of the season after starting 1-6. Their coach got some votes for Coach of the Year when the NFL honors were announced, or at the NFL honors this past Thursday. Also, their defensive rookie from this year, number 2 overall pick, well, that guy got votes also for Defensive Rookie of the Year and played a tremendous season and has done something that no one else has done, or tied something that, in terms of being a D lineman with 3 interceptions. You look at your guy that you moved up for. 20 picks they moved up to get Jameson Williams. Well, when they finally got him out there, what did he do on his first play, Maz, or his first catch? It's a 40-yard touchdown.
Yeah.
And you saw him get by defenders. You saw him looking the part of a Blazer in which they drafted. Well, you look at the offensive coordinator that you gave his first-year job. Like, what's this Ben Johnson guy going to be about? Well, every opening this year wanted to interview Ben Johnson before he told them no. Then you look at where their draft is this year, how many players they got. I mean, in terms of what their draft capital is, from pick 6 to pick 78. Then you look at the money they spent. Then you talk about all these things. This team is trending upward. Everything they're doing is trending the right way. So the odds makers, as you say, Maz, Vegas knows because Vegas knows.
Mm-hmm. It is so great to have these expectations, though, right? I mean, I think for the first time in over 20 years, even in 2014 when they lost to the Cowboys, I think we looked at that team now and we say that's a team that could have made it to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, they could have.
At the time, I'm not sure we had that expectation.
I did.
Going into the offseason, I can't remember what my expectation was for that team that year, but I'm just talking about for a full season, for a full off season, my expectation is that I think they can get to that point to where they can compete for a number 1 seed in the NFC. I really, truly believe that. They're going to make the adjustments. They're going to improve the roster in both free agency and in the draft to be competing for not only the NFC North. I'm almost taking that for granted.
Yeah.
I think they absolutely win the North. I'm now moving on to, can they compete for home field advantage overall in the NFC? I mean, that's where I'm going.
If you go 10-2, you're competing. You can't start 1-6.
Right.
You cannot start 1-6. You got to at least win 2 or 3 more of those games.
And Maz is right. They had some impressive things that they did last year, too. You know, you start to expound on that. I mean, you look at Jared Goff. Jared Goff didn't have a turnover past week 10.
Yep.
You know, you look at that. Like, he didn't have a turnover past week 10. You look at the last game of the year, they didn't even give up a penalty. Like when they played the Green Bay Packers.
Look at last night's game.
They didn't even
give
up.
Only 1 turnover was a drop ball.
100%. And
Muff, right?
Yeah.
And by the way, hell of a pass by Mahomes to Kelce, where Kelce picked it up off the carpet. Like, that was just insane. Anyway, back to this. But you look at the Detroit Lions and how they play. A lot of their stats, man, they line up well to what they're trying to do, the direction that they're going. And the key is they're still together. They're young guys. They believe. Like, you look at the offensive linemen, stacked. Like, they have a wall for the quarterback. They got guys. They believe in the system. Everybody wants to be here. The Lions are coming. Now, the interesting thing is, it's the schedule this year, though. Like, they're going to play that AFC West. Like, you're going to see. Like, this is, everybody said, hey, Detroit Lions, man, like, we believe in it. It's grit. It's hustle. We're BNL. It's no longer same old Lions. All right, cool. Well, we'll find out. Because you'll have to go against a new Denver Broncos team. You're going to have to see Justin Herbert. You're going to have to see whoever the hell comes out to Vegas.
You hope to go 2-2 against the
exactly. You're going to have to see Patrick Mahomes. You're going to have to see
Yeah.
those guys. There's going to be some improved NFC teams as well. It's happening the right way at the right time. We will see, because it wouldn't have been fair to play the AFC West last year. This year, I mean, hey, y'all say y'all BNL. Show me.
I mean, we're going to have plenty of time to look at this. There is, again, something sad about the fact that the NFL season is over.
But exciting, too, because our Lions.
Absolutely.
We're ready.
It is. It just doesn't feel like a dud. And there's, you're not hoping that they're going to get better. You're just trying to figure out how they're going to get better, because they're going to.
It's not like we were looking forward to a Pistons season.
Right.
We're looking forward to a Lions season where you know that they are ready to go. When the Pistons are ready to go, we'll decide. When the Red Wings are ready to go, we'll get there. When the Tigers are ready to go, they're all far away. The Lions are in the starting block. They're just waiting for the gate to open.
But first, a message from SMA.
The sports marketing agency helps to spread awareness about mental health as well as substance abuse disorder. Their new podcast, The S Word. S Word is for stigma. We're trying to destigmatize mental health as well as, just trying to let you know that it's okay to not be okay. But when you're not okay, where do you go to get the information? How do you act? How do you respond? Well, Sean Jordan at SMA does an amazing job providing the content, providing information, as well as the conversation that you need to hear to get you where you need to be. Go to thesportsma.com.
By now you know me, Christina Gennari, as the obvious choice in real estate. And you know my website, soldchristina.com, as your #1 resource for buying or selling your home. Myself, along with my amazing staff, pride ourselves on making your home buying and selling experience a relaxing and easy one. Come see why we are the obvious choice. Christina Gennari at soldchristina.com, the obvious choice in real estate.
When it comes to making your haircut truly an experience, there's no better place than Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Come to any one of our 26 Metro Detroit locations for an award-winning haircut experience and qualify for a chance to win a down payment for your dream home up to $200,000. Our precision haircut and talented stylists will have you looking good, feeling good, and give you a chance to change your life forever. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
Hey, man. What did you eat for yesterday for the Super Bowl party? If you were lucky enough and you had Cousins Maine Lobster, man, you hit it out of the park. Cousins-MaineLobster.com. Matter of fact, get on that QR code right above my big mug over there and click on it. You're going to get the schedule, where their trucks are going to be, and you can get on down there and get yourself the best seafood this side of Maine. That's right. It's just like eating in New England. Grab a lobster right out of the water, right out of the Atlantic Ocean, and eat that sucker because it is the best seafood that you're going to get. Man. Cousins Maine Lobster and CousinsMaineLobster.com.
There's nothing you can really say to a loved one in a situation like that. You know, you joke around all the time and say that you want to be your brother in the biggest stage ever, but it's a weird feeling. There's nothing really I could say to him other than I love him, and he played a hell of a year, a hell of a season.
Gotta be uncomfortable, right? I mean, to play against your brother in a Super Bowl because you know somebody's gonna be happy, somebody's gonna be sad. Are you less happy when you win because you know your brother lost? I kind of feel like you're less happy about it.
I think it depends on how you guys grow up. Like, you can tell, like, from their podcasts, just their interactions. Like, Jason and Travis love each other. Like, they have gone to war with each other. Yes, they fight. All brothers fight. But you can tell they love each other unconditionally. Like, some brothers don't act like that. Like, I've seen some other brothers that they played against each other, and there was this little different vibe in the air. You know what I'm saying? In New Orleans, if you will, Maz, in the Hardball Bowl. Like, there was a little bit of different love there, but it's got to be tough, Ryan, because you know the good thing. I think the good thing for them, they both already had one.
Yep.
They both already had one. Travis Kelce, he's got one. He beat. Who the heck did they beat? They beat the 49ers. And then Jason Kelce's got the big one because he beat Tom.
That's right.
So I think if I'm looking at it from that way, I would have still been sad, but I would have been cooler because my brother already had one. If it was the first time and somebody didn't have one, that would have been tough at Easter dinner.
He was part of the Philly special too, right?
He was.
That's the thing. They both play on the offensive side of the ball, so they're not playing against each other.
Yeah.
And Mama Kelce, she wore her double shirt. She had the jacket, the shirt, the sneakers.
The shoes,
Oh my God. She was looking all right. Hey, let me ask you guys this.
Who did she watch the game with? Because why was she sitting next to Roger Goodell
and DeMar Hamlin?
DeMar Hamlin. Like, where's her? And I don't know the situation, so I probably. Where's her family at?
Well, where's the father?
I don't know.
Does anyone actually know?
I don't know.
You know, fathers get no love in professional sports.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if he's passed away or if he's still.
They had him on the show.
They did?
He's definitely alive.
He's still around. Are the boys close to him there, Fletch?
I'm not aware. They were asking him questions.
Ed Kelce. You got a mic on?
Yeah, he's on.
They had the dad. Somebody in the chat, correct me if I'm wrong. I think they had the dad on not too long ago. They were asking him questions.
Oh yeah, he's there.
All right, because
Ed and Donna Kelce, the proud parents of 2 Super Bowl players.
You never see Ed.
No, yeah, I mean Ed's watching a game
somewhere
by
else.
himself somewhere.
Yeah, I don't know.
But you know
where
how
the hell
some
that
fathers
is.
are too, though. Like some fathers don't like all that. Like they don't like to go up there, Roger Goodell. They don't
Patrick
like the
Mahomes' dad
cameras.
was there.
They don't like
Patty Senior was there.
Patty. Like he
Puffing
came.
that cigar.
Patty like he came for me. Okay, this is part of my celebration too. I'm
Yeah.
celebrating too.
Right.
Some guys like Jerry West. Like guys like to watch the game in the tunnel.
Yeah.
That's how my dad is. Like my dad would get on the transistor radio and like just listen in the corner somewhere sometimes. Like some fathers can't watch and dial in or be a part of the spectacle. They just.
That's how Stan ran his party yesterday too.
Oh, Dad, he was asleep at one point. Like Dad was everywhere, man. Like 'cause it was like I told you. Like Berkeley had it set up downstairs. It's set up in the garage. There's a living room. There's an immediate room. That's 4. The food was in another room. That's 5. It was a lot going on, and I just noticed my dad disappear after about end of the third.
Right. What was your party like yesterday?
Had 17 adults and 14 kids.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Who was over?
It was all my friends, my kids' classmates,
Okay.
and their parents and stuff
What
like
was-
that.
what was
kids?
on?
I got Bob Marito's subs.
Oh.
I got Travis Sliders. I got Detroit Wing Company wings.
Nice. Everything on my side of town.
Well, I knew
right?
you go to Stan's.
Right, everything on my
I know.
side
That's
of
why I
town.
remember I called you because
Yeah.
I passed your street.
I know. Everything's by me.
And the kids were all in the basement. The girls were all in the family room, and all the guys were in the living room.
Okay.
And it was good. It was good. Everybody left at like 10, and the game ended at 10:30. Because I got kids, I got school tomorrow, and everything. Yeah. Hence, why I am truly a believer that you should play this game on Super Bowl Saturday, or at the very least, move it up to a 4:00 start time. Because none of the 14 kids made it to the end of the game. I mean,
of course.
But I mean, it's not like 10:30 so late, but whatever. They don't care about the kids. And then I stayed up till 12:55 cleaning my house because I had to come down to a perfect. Nicole's like, I will clean the house, but I'm going to do it tomorrow. I'm going to bed.
Yeah. I'm like you.
I was like, go ahead. I had to clean.
Was it garbage night?
Yes, it was.
Oh, you got to get it out.
You would not know anybody walked in my house yesterday.
Good for
That's
you.
how perfect it was.
I'm with you too.
You would not even believe
ran
one
the- I-
person came in my house yesterday.
I loaded the dishwasher, ran it, emptied it.
Oh, ran it again, emptied it again.
I'm the same. Like I got that from my stepdad. Definitely my stepdad. Like he growing up, CP, shout out to Pops. Like CP would not go to sleep with a dirty house. Like to this day, like he'll come downstairs, you know what I'm saying, in his own house, he'll clean up, do his own little deal, he'll make sure it's clean. So I'm like that too, very OCD, can't go to sleep because I'm thinking about it as I'm laying there. I'm like, dang, it's like 11 dishes in the sink. I
hate
like you're
dishes in the
thinking
sink.
about it, so you're getting
I
done.
hate dishes
But
in the
yesterday,
sink.
having the Super Bowl party at my dad's house, that's the one thing I can say I was extremely, extremely happy about. I didn't have any dishes. I didn't have anything to clean up. I even left early. I think I left right before Eagles kicked that field goal in the third quarter. So I got back home at like 9 minutes left in the fourth.
And that's another thing about Super Bowl Saturday. Nobody's freaking leaving early. Everybody freaking leaves early. Now, I had 31 people in my house. 31 people. 17 adults, 14 kids. I watched the end of the game by myself. Not one person, not even my wife, stayed up with me to watch the end of the game.
That's bad.
That's why you make it on Saturday.
Was Quinn there?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, but if you make it on Saturday, though, the only thing is you may have people like really not leave.
Fine.
Like, they might stay till
It's a
Sunday.
party.
Because if I come over, I'm staying till Sunday.
It's a party.
We're hanging.
God.
We're hanging. Fireworks.
I get it
and
for
all.
you, bro, because you got to work. Media people, they got to work. Guys that sell cars, they got to work. But most people had off probably
Or
and
option-
will,
the option to have off.
have off when it's on President's Weekend. I get it, but
I
I get it for
kids are
you.
in school, though, aren't they? Oh, no, kids don't do school.
I get it for you, though, because,
Yeah.
you got to go to work on Monday morning regardless.
Right.
So I understand for you, Saturday would
But
work for you.
I'm even. But there weren't 31 media members in my house. I mean, everybody had a different job.
I know, but when you bring kids to a party,
Yeah.
it changes everything.
No, I get it.
Yeah, it changes
I get
everything.
it. What do you guys think of Kevin Burkhardt?
Oh, he's the
He's
best.
good.
I
He's
love
damn
him.
good. Like, he's
And Greg Olson's phenomenal too.
Burkhardt's there. Man, as you put me on Burkhardt at the start of last year, I think he's the best.
I thought he called an absolutely incredible game.
Hands down.
And I thought Greg Olson really was really good yesterday.
You?
Yeah, I do. I look. I am
really
not
good.
He's very solid. I'm not of the belief that he's the best analyst in the game yet, which so many people.
He's on his way, man.
You don't think he's Burkhardt's final teammate? You think he's somebody else?
I'm not saying he's not his final teammate. And look, Brady's going to come in 24, and it's going to be great, I think. But even if they stay together, I just don't. I don't see Olsen as God's gift to being an analyst right now. Like everybody's talking about it, and I think they're only talking about it because A, they like him. And B,
his route.
It's kind of like his route.
He earned it.
He did earn it, but it's a jab at Brady for just getting that the biggest contract in media ever before even calling one game.
I got you.
So I think it's all of those things added up.
It would be like somebody not supporting Jeff Saturday as a coach, but supporting somebody that you watch come up and take their shot. Like Eric Bieniemy.
Right.
If Eric Bieniemy got a job, you my guy, you'd be ecstatic.
Right.
Okay, I got it.
You want to know who the best duo was? It was Kevin Burkhardt and Charles Davis. They were phenomenal. I always said, man, I just love I love Charles Davis. I think he's phenomenal. And what Greg Olsen has done, he's come in, worked XFL games, worked USFL games, and played football, came back in, and I just find him friendly, folksy. I enjoy him. Just like I enjoyed Tony Romo when he started. Tony Romo is what he is now. He's not the same Romo he was. But him and Jim Nantz, still, it's a warm broadcast. It's not a harsh broadcast like when you get Al Michaels or someone like that. It's not Chris Collinsworth to me. It's not a warm broadcast. I just like the comfort of hearing. Joe Buck and Troy are my favorite. Kevin Burkhardt and Greg Olsen are right there, 1 and 1A with me.
Maz, quick pivot on this question. You're the best person, the most qualified person to answer this. Why is it that when you talk about best coaches and best quarterbacks, there's two people that never typically come up? Chuck Noll is always the last man put in. We talk to coaches who has 4 rings, and Pittsburgh before he got there was trash. They were trash, and obviously his quarterback Terry Bradshaw is the other guy. 4 Super Bowl wins that gets left off.
You bet.
You play like you played. You were able to watch and see why is that those two guys get left off.
I don't know, Bray, but they're always on mine.
Yeah.
Them, Tom Landry, Roger Staubach.
Yeah.
I mean, those guys, John Madden, Ken Stabler.
Yeah.
Those are my guys, and they'll always be my guys. They're Hall of Famers. I love them, and I'll never forget them. Now, Ryan, when we do top 10s and top 20s, you're always like, "Hey, what's Babe Ruth doing on this list? What's Lou Gehrig doing on this list? What's Willie Mays doing on this list?" They played the game too.
We know,
right?
Just because they haven't played in the last 100 years, don't make them bad.
Can I say this about Burkhardt too? Because we always talk about Jalen Hurts and his track to get to the NFL.
He's a Jersey guy,
Kevin Burkhardt was a used car salesman 18 years ago.
In Jersey.
For a Chevrolet dealership in Jersey. And he didn't go to Northwestern, the Medill School of Journalism, or Syracuse.
Greeny.
He was a used car salesman 18 years ago.
William Patterson.
18 years later, he's calling the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to tell you is there are no paths that are a direct path to anywhere.
Yeah.
There are zigs and zags and ups and downs. And if you let somebody tell you you can't do it, you're not good enough, the only person that has to believe in you is you. Kevin Burkhardt bet on himself.
Do you want it or don't you?
He took low-level radio jobs just to get in the business, making no money at all. He just wanted to be in the business. He worked on his craft. He built up a resume. He kept getting a better job, and then a better job, and then a better job, ultimately getting hired at Fox. And 18 years later, after he was selling Tahoes and Malibus, he's calling a Super Bowl, making millions of dollars a year to do the job he loves. Bravo to you, Kevin Burkhardt. You are an inspiration to so many.
In the words of the comeback player of the year, Geno Smith, they wrote me off, I didn't write back.
We'll be right back, but first a message from the Foaling Warehouse.
That was awesome. That's my guy, too. Foaling Warehouse, that's right, in Hamtramck, Michigan. Get on down there, folks. 2 ways to play this great game of football and bowling. $12 unlimited open play or a private lane reservation. For 10 or 12 people on a lane, run you $120, and you can have that for 2 hours. Any drink you'd like, and the mystery, $2 mystery beer machine. They got that. You put $2 in it, you never know what's going to come out of it. You might get a Lowenbrow. You might get a Colt 45. You don't know. Back in the day, you might get a Schaefer beer or a Rheingold. We'll see. And also, they got any drink you want and over 100 beers on the menu. Bring your own food in or have it delivered. It's the Foaling Warehouse. Get your foal on at foalingwarehouse.com.
It's a great day to get some Centron in your life. Okay. There it is. Centron. Here we go. Got to grab the cranberry. Oh, wait. It's 2 for $4. Got to double up with the classic as well. Centron World, baby. Centron, available at select Krogers, and if you want to know how, go to @CentronWorld.com. You get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
As chilly weather approaches, Big Boy's got the perfect comfort meals for you. Try our hearty classic meatloaf or our creamy Cajun chicken Alfredo. These will be sure to leave you craving for more. How about breakfast? Our stuffed potato pancakes are back with our lumberjack, blockbuster, and Santa Fe Garden. These potato pancakes will definitely fill you up. Whether it's for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, come stock up on the perfect comfort meal today. We'll see you soon at Big Boy.
We aren't quite sure if they consume more beer or sports. Either way, the heavyweights are here. Live on Woodward Sports, daily 5 to 7 p.m.
Find your big fitness energy today at Planet Fitness, because now through February 16th, you can join for just $1 down and $10 a month. But you have to hurry up because this offer does end soon. But also, Planet Fitness is hiring as well. Make your workout place your workplace. Planet Fitness offers a fun and friendly environment with flexible schedules and much more to offer their employees. For more information or just to join Planet Fitness, show up in club today, or you can always check them out online at planetfitness.com.
Hey, Bray, before we run out of show, I do want to get your take on a former teammate of yours who called it a career yesterday, Chad Henne. $40 million, 2 Super Bowls, and 15 seasons later, calls it a career.
Extremely happy for the kid out of PA, man. I remember meeting Chad for the first time. Very quiet, doesn't say much. To this day, still very quiet, doesn't say much. But hell of a work ethic, hell of a teammate, and to see what he's been able to do in the NFL. And it's funny, Brian, you just talked about path. You just talked about a path. Everybody's path isn't the same. Chad Henne gets drafted in the 2nd round in 2008 to the to the Miami Dolphins. Then he ends up starting there for a couple years, goes to the Jaguars, starts a couple years for the Jaguars. Then he's there kind of as they're going through that quarterback carousel with him, Bortles, Gardner Minshew, etc. And then he ends up becoming backup quarterback. And now you've seen at the highest stage, he's had moments. You look at the game where they had to plug and play him against the Steelers 2 years ago, and he was able to beat Baker Mayfield. I mean, it's not the Steelers, against the Browns. He's able to beat Baker Mayfield in that game. Patrick Mahomes comes back the next game. They make it to the Super Bowl where they eventually lose to the 49. I mean, to the Patriots. I mean, to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Tom Brady. But he was able to get him there. You look this year. His ankle goes down. He goes down. He's struggling with the ankle. Who comes in? 98-yard touchdown drive. Longest in
against Jacksonville.
Against Jacksonville, and they were playing extremely good ball. Longest touchdown drive in Chiefs history. So every time he was called up on, they needed him. He answered the bell, man. Hell of a career, quiet guy, but he made it work, man. And without him, there's a lot of catches and touchdowns. Lord knows how my senior year would have went if he wasn't able to call on him. So kudos to you, man. You deserve everything coming your way, big guy.
He made $40 million in his career and has as many Super Bowl rings as the great John Elway, Roger Staubach, a couple of other 2-time winners.
And much better health.
Not bad, huh? What a great gig.
And much better health.
What a great gig.
Yeah.
Hey, Lions, please get a backup quarterback.
Yeah, of that caliber.
Yeah, I mean, if Chad Henne doesn't lead them on that 98-yard drive, maybe they're not even there. Like the Jacksonville may have won that football game.
And that's the other thing too. Just think about this particular game, because his name came up in some bets, some odds, because you're not knowing what's going to happen with Patrick Mahomes' ankle. I don't think that Kansas City Chiefs team was. I'm not going to sit here and lie and say they were not worried. But at the same time, they knew if something happened, they had a comparable quarterback that could make some plays in there and maybe still help them get a chance to win, as opposed to just having a Nate Suffield in there where you're like, all right, game's over. Game's over.
Hey, before we get out of here, do you guys have any favorite commercials?
I did.
I don't like the commercials anymore. They suck to me.
I love two of them. Obviously, I loved Breaking Bad because that's my favorite show of all time. I loved it, the poppers, and I loved the last commercial of the day, Amazon, with the big dog.
That was universally thought of as the number one commercial.
It was touching.
The Amazon dog one.
I'll put it as one of the best commercials I've ever seen.
Really?
I would. I loved it that much.
Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback I've ever seen.
Right. My favorite commercial was not that great, but it's something we could all relate to. It was the Miles Teller Bud Light commercial when they were on hold, and you hear that
was great.
You hear the music,
that was fun.
And instead of like cussing and you like dance and drink a beer, I thought
that was really good.
It.
No, I'm not gonna say I hated it. I actually liked it, but I'm saying how much is that? It was a commercial, and how much is that you like Top Gun? And Miles Teller was in Top Gun.
I like it. You probably could have put anybody there, but you probably could have put anybody in that spot.
I had to break your balls.
But the fact is, like a Bud Light commercial, and we've all been on hold, and none of us have ever acted like that on hold before. We're always throwing the phone or cussing at it or something. So to dance and drink a Bud Light to the hold jingle is pretty good.
And I love when the operator came on and then said, "Hold again."
Yeah, I think it comes from COVID. Because I think during COVID, like wait calls got longer, whether you're calling Delta, whether you're trying to return something, whether you're calling. Like, I think people were drinking all during COVID, and I think people were kicking it at the house. I think that commercial comes out of COVID.
Stephen Baffy on the WoodwardSports.com chat. Got to get this one in. Talked about the Tubi commercial.
Yeah.
I reacted to the Tubi commercial almost the same way as the ending of The Sopranos.
Yeah.
What happened? When The Sopranos went to the black screen, I thought my cable went out.
Maddie yelled at me, "Dad, what'd you do?"
When the Tubi commercial came on, I looked for the remote to see if I sat on it or what I was doing. Because I thought it had gone to Tubi.
Was that something?
Oh my gosh! So I thought that was a really good commercial too.
It worked, right?
Yeah, and you can watch us on Tubi. Through the Fox News app 2 to 4.
You know, the Farmer's Dog was a good one too, and I think that got voted as one of the top 5.
Yeah,
I might just go down YouTube. I'm at the house and just put on 2023 commercials and watch them all.
I mean, some of them though are like, and I almost feel like
the M&M one was wacky.
Yeah, it's dumb. Because they play them early now, it almost feels like the NBA draft. Remember when the NBA draft, you were watching on Twitter and you saw the pick, and then you watched the TV and the guy got drafted?
Yeah.
That's what the commercials are like to me now. Like the NBA, how Twitter ruined the NBA draft. These early releases of the freaking commercials have been ruined for me. The Super Bowl commercials have been ruined.
It's our own fault. We want
because
everything
of the
so
early
damn
release. Feels like the NBA draft of Twitter. All right, gang, we got to get out of here. Bray, get us out of here.
Hell of a show, great Super Bowl. Wish it would have ended slightly different, but hey, you know what? Best team won. Patrick Mahomes, back-to-back MVPs in terms of the Super Bowls he's actually won. We'll talk more about it, but you know what? Season's over. Now it's time to talk about the Detroit Lions and what they're going to do. Also, pitches and catches, I think they've either started or they're about to start, so I know Fletcher's excited.
Most of them are there.
Detroit Tigers, so we'll talk more about it. Great week coming up. Tune in. We appreciate you guys.
This just in, the Tigers have been eliminated already.
And stay away from hot air balloons. Hot air balloon rides have been canceled to further notice. For my man Fletch, JB Maz on the couch, Ryan Ermanni over there, I am Braylon Edwards, and this is Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. We'll see you later.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.